Welcome to Reselling the Real Life, episode number 10. I am sorry I couldn't think of a topic. I couldn't find a guest, so we're doing another live Q&A questionnaire. I actually had several people telling me that they absolutely loved the Q&A instead of having like extra people, so I figured, well, why not go ahead and do it again. So feel free to ask any questions that you have in the chat, and I got it sitting right here so I can see it. So it'll take probably just another moment or so before people start popping in. So this is me sitting here talking to myself for the moment. So while we're waiting for questions, I was going through my list of areas that I am ungated in, and I am not sure what I did or how it happened, but it turns out that I am ungated in DVDs. Not sure at all how that happened, and when I was looking at that, I had to take a double take. It's like, does that really say that I'm ungated to sell DVDs? So it turns out, yes, I am ungated to sell DVDs on Amazon. And I was completely shocked. And I was like, dude, do you have any idea how this happened? I'm not complaining one bit, but this is just really cool. He's like, how long have you been selling on Amazon? It's like a few years. And he said, well, if you sold so many in a certain time frame before the real, pardon my French, shit hit the fan, you're fine. You are grandfathered in to sell DVDs. So, okay. I know there for a while, I was coming up with a bunch of them that would say I couldn't sell this item. So I was really happy. I can sell DVDs on Amazon without any problems. So, yay, I was really happy with that one. Still not sure, but okay. Like, actually I took a picture of it when I was looking at it. What all am I ungated in? I am ungated to sell in automotive and power sports. Tires, I don't know. I've never sent a tire into Amazon. Groceries, I specifically remember applying for that one, and DVDs. Okay. I was actually trying to, I think that came up because I was trying to apply to sell in health and beauty, and they've completely rechanged the whole ungating process. Store receipts don't work anymore. You actually have to have a invoice from an online retailer or something. It was actually kind of confusing, but in order to be able to sell on those or to apply for those, you actually have to have the professional seller membership, the monthly subscription fee as a professional seller. And as of right now, I don't have that because I canceled it because I know it'll take a little bit before I'll have at least the quantity in Amazon before that actually happens. And the wife's coming downstairs, so everybody say, hi, Meredith. Hi. So, all right. I see I've got 2 viewers.
Only 2 people saw that.
And it's also being recorded, so
everybody I know. Shush.
3 viewers, yay. All right, feel free, ask any questions. That's what I'm here for. That's why I make YouTube videos. Feel free to ask away. I actually had a couple items sell on Amazon today, and I was really happy for one of them. I sold a Panasonic Omnivision VCR with the original factory remote for $120. So, yay, that was exciting. Oh, another thing. Minions, Tic Tac, Pez. You got Bob, Stuart, and Kevin as a set. So I paid like $3 each, and I sold the set for $25. That sold like the second it hit the warehouse. So that was actually kind of, I don't do retail arbitrage very often, but when I saw it, it's like it's selling so fast. I gotta get it. It's like, okay, so I bought a bunch, and I don't send, when I have quantities of items, I usually try to avoid sending them in all at once unless I have this massive shipment. And I didn't have a whole lot, but I figured I'm going to send in like one at a time. And I sent one in last week. I sent another one in this week, and it should be getting there. Well, this shipment is going to Illinois, so it should be there tomorrow morning. It always disturbs me whenever you send a shipment in going to a state that is basically next door to your state. It gets there the next day. I've never understood it, but hey, take it, love it. Yeah, whenever you have items going next door, usually if you have good items, they start selling the day they hit there. Can't believe I'm almost out of coffee. Any random bits of information you got for me to talk about, hun? Like I said, I'm drawing a blank.
I wish I could remember what I.
She had an idea for me, and she didn't tell me, and she forgot what it was. So I don't have any idea. And the part that I was going to be working on while doing this is not next to my desk. I have no idea where it's at. Okay, I was going to be cleaning that as I was going. I still have my guitars. I have not listed them. I'm going to actually try and list one of them, but I'm thinking
Better list them.
this one I'm going to work at continuing trying to learn, because I can't play to save my life. I've just been enjoying looking at it. I can't play, but I like looking at it. I got them both sitting right there, but the black one's always easy to get a hold of. Yeah, I've really drawn a blank on anything. I know somebody was asking me the other day what kind of items I find are good with cleaning. It's like, well, on the cheap end, I like to stick with baby wipes. And if I've got something that's really sticky, nasty, and gooey, I've actually tried the Goo. What is it? I've got Goo Gone, and that just leaves an orange smell, but it never really did a good job at cleaning. What I actually use for cleaning, lighter fluid. It gets almost everything out. You'd be surprised. Just grab a folded up paper towel, squirt some lighter fluid on it. It evaporates quick, so you've got to be quick. Wipe off whatever that goo is as fast as you can. It takes it right out. I've had my neighbor say, "How do I get this out?" And I did it right in front of her, and she was so shocked. She couldn't believe it. She's like, "I got to get lighter fluid now." Question: what was your best finds this week? Let's see here. The Canon ink cartridge expired in, I think it was 2008. I listed it on eBay for $50, and it sold within 4 hours under a best offer for $38. It was one of those. I think I paid $5 for it. I get a lot of items for $5. That's one thing that always gets me. But I'd have to say it's my best find because it was get it, list it, gone, sold. Other than that, I would have to say the purple ab roller. Nathan Rombod, I love you for it, man. You always have like the weirdest suggestions, and he has a Facebook group. I'd have to say it's my favorite because I have a lot, and he only lets 1,000 people in at a time. Some people come, some people go, but it's usually around 1,000. In case anybody is curious, the name of the group is Thrifting Like a Rebel. There's room in there right now, but there's not a whole lot of room. So go ahead, try if you can get in. If not, it sits there for a while until people leave, and then they'll go in and approve a few people. But yeah, Thrifting Like a Rebel is actually my favorite group. I'm sorry, Gilman's, but I think I like that group so much because there isn't a lot of drama. He actually prides himself on that because people who try to start drama actually get kicked out. There have been people that have tried to say, oh, you can't do this, that, and the other. It's like, well, I've been doing it for years, and they can try and argue with it. Okay, I've been doing it for this long, and if they try to continue it, saying that it's not allowed, it's like, well, goodbye. You're gone. Like, okay. But yeah, I really do enjoy that group. I've never any drama, and it's usually like a great big family, like 1,000 people just kind of working to help each other, which is what we're here for. 4 viewers, yay! I've got people watching now. I'm actually kind of shocked. Usually I have at least a minimum of 10 by now. All right. For those of you who are truly curious, yes, I do finally have health insurance. It's like I found something that was like too good to be true, and I was verifying it. Is this actually true? And after checking, double checking, quadruple checking, and checking again, it really was true. So I actually paid for health insurance for the year. And I'm really happy because now I'm getting my bleeding ulcer taken care of. I'll be able to eat onions again. You have no idea how hard it is to find food that doesn't have onions. Like even onion powder. It's in everything. It's disturbing. But I think this might end up being a short video. I'm really coming up as a blank. I don't have a whole lot of anything really terribly exciting going on right now. Let's take a quick look. Anything at all? Check Amazon right quick. Taking a minute to load. Let's look in there. Nope. I know somebody was asking if there was the craziest item I ever sold on eBay. Well, I told him I'll have to bring it up in this video since he probably wouldn't be here. The craziest item I ever sold on eBay, I was one of those people. I sold, honestly, I put it in the title and the description, an empty Nintendo Wii box. No Nintendo Wii, just the box that it comes in when it's brand new. Like, I think I sold that thing for like $15 plus shipping.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I also had, I'm a video gameaholic. I love my video games, and back when I really needed the money, when I was getting started on eBay, I sold my Super Nintendo games, my system, my Game Boy. I had no idea what happened to any of my games. I couldn't find my games. But after all that sold, I found my Game Boy game boxes. My wife had been telling me for years to throw that trash out. I sold those empty game boxes, every single one of them. Some of them I did, back then I only knew how to do 99-cent auctions. Some of those only sold for 99 cents. Some of those actually sold for like $30. just the box. Yes. Chiari Johnson, $15 for an empty box. $30 for an empty Game Boy game box. I don't even remember what that box was. I think it might have been the Final Fantasy, the first one, like before it was even Final Fantasy 1. It was just Final Fantasy for the Game Boy. It was really weird. But it was an awkward game. I don't even think I really understood it, but I just kept playing it. It was a really awesome game. But Game Boy, you're doing this. Original Game Boy with colors of gray and green. I missed that game. I actually loved the Game Boy. It was different. I was actually happy I still had my original box for my Game Boy. I mean, styrofoam and all. Even that super thin styrofoam piece that goes over it and then it slides into the box. Yeah, I had that too. Oddly enough, that didn't go for as much as I thought it would because I sold the Game Boy, the box. I also had the Game Boy carry-all and the box for the carry-all. And I did it 99-cent auction, and it sold for like $35. I was actually really disappointed about that one, but I needed the money, so I took it and ran. The days of learning how eBay works in the very beginning. I enjoyed and hated it at the same time. I hated it because I was selling my stuff, but I needed the money and I was making fat cash. I mean, I never thought I'd see that much money at once. Xena. My daughter loves the Xena series. We've been going through and watching it. She can't get enough. She doesn't care for Hercules, but she likes Xena. Yeah, I really am coming up as a blank. I've been thinking about it. I thought about it on Thursday. It's like, oh, my show's coming up on Tuesday. I need to come up with a topic, and I came up like totally empty-handed. It's like I usually do better than this. I couldn't even find a guest to come on and be like, okay, let's just sit here and talk about nothing for an hour. So I figured, well, you get me. Okay, how long have you been a full-time seller, and do you regret leaving full-time employment? I quit. I was selling on eBay full-time and worked at my part-time job for about 3 years. And after that, I finally quit my job, and I've just been selling on eBay, Amazon. I just started selling on Etsy. I haven't had any sales on Etsy yet. I think it was in February that I quit. No, I actually, well, I do and I don't regret leaving. It's not the money. I delivered pizza for 11 years. I was the pizza guy. I was probably one of those few guys that actually loved to deliver pizza. I mean, you get away from sitting here because you're at your desk taking pictures, or you're out at like one of many, many thrift stores or the UPS store. That's basically your livelihood. You're doing those, or you're working at a job. And I was excited because I got to go see somebody new, or I'd get to go see a regular customer. They're like your best friend, and then they give you like $5 tip because you're so cool. It's like, okay. And we would have new people come in and be like, how do you remember all these streets? It's like, well, after you've been doing it for so long, it's just second nature. It's like, I just love to deliver pizza. It's kind of like numbers. Like eBay is numbers. It's like, I was terrible at math in school, but once you get to the real world and you start putting dollar signs by everything, whole lot different. And these numbers were more of number of address. Okay, well, I have to get this address faster. Then I make more money. So that address to me is money. Do I have a niche? T-shirts, kitchen appliances, and VCRs. That's actually my main niche. Like all three of those. Like kitchen appliances do really well. VCRs, they just do so well. I still don't understand why VCRs do so well, but VCRs do really well. Um, if you haven't seen my videos before, the Panasonic Omnivision VCR, almost any model number is the best. It's like that's what I sold today for $120 with remote. It's like I sent it into Amazon and it sold like that. It's like that one, well, considering that one had been sitting there for 5 months, it was sitting there for 5 months because the price was so high. Because I had the remote with it. If I didn't have the remote with it, I would have listed it for $50 and it would have sold within a week. Kitchen appliance parts. You always look up the model number, name brand model number, and it'll pull it right up. And as long as it's actively selling, you're golden. Like, because there's always people going, oh, my blade broke, or the lid to my food processor broke, the bowl to my food processor broke, or my blender broke, I need this part. There's always going to be those people. They don't want to replace the whole thing. They just want to replace that part. Grab the whole machine. Make sure if you get the blade, make sure the blade does not have cracks. You'd be shocked how often you'll come across a food processor that has the blade, but the blade is cracked. Thank you. I'm glad people are enjoying my videos. I have had some high-end food processor blades that had cracks that I lowered the price by like a third because the cracks weren't terrible, and it still sold. But only because the cracks weren't terrible. I've had some that the cracks were like god awful. Don't even try. It's like I tried, it wasn't even worth the time. It's like I just straight up threw it away. It's like I tried it at a 99-cent auction, and it's like I know this is like a $45 blade. Feel free to put a bid on it if you want it. I will let it go at this price. But no, it didn't go, so I just straight up threw it away. Not worth my time. Just get rid of it. Rotisseries. Rotisseries always seem to do well. I don't know why, but almost any brand of rotisserie does well. The Ronco Rotisserie 4000 does really well. The Ronco Rotisserie 3000 is really hard to get some of those parts to move. I think I sat on the feet for the Ronco Rotisserie 3000 for 9 months before they finally sold. And I just sold to the same person 2 Ronco Rotisserie 4000 white motors. I took a best offer, and just because he was trying to get both of them, I wasn't going to argue. They're just so big, they're bulky, they're not. It was the dial one with the motor, not the digital motor. The digital motor actually is gone like that every single time. You get the digital motor, you can't keep it in stock. I think the longest I ever had a digital motor in stock was 3 weeks. The one with the dial, those I've been sitting on for a little bit, but if somebody wanted to make, well, somebody did make me the best offer, so I took it just to get them gone. They're out. I was happy. I think my overall profit on that was $20 just to get them out. I was happy. Always good to get items moving. If you haven't had sales in a while and sales have been really slow, if you start taking a few best offers, Cassini will see that you're taking it, and that you're actively working, and it'll start just shipping orders to you that it'll be hard for you to keep up. Because I took the best offer on those motors last night. Then I listed that, the ink cartridge last night, and then it sold quickly. And then after I got the motors packed this morning, as I was on my way, I sold another item that luckily I was driving by the post office again and dropped them off. But that person still has not paid yet, so that's why it's still sitting there. I'm considering his feedback. I'm pretty sure he'll be paying rather quickly, if not today, tomorrow morning. Yep. I still cannot wait till I get my Legos back. Hint, hint, hint. And thank you to my subscribers. Somebody sent me the whip for my Indiana Jones Lego figure. Got it. I'm happy. So, yay, I got my Indiana Jones. I was actually more thinking of it because we actually just bought the Indiana Jones Lego for the Nintendo Wii, and we've been playing that, and then I found this in the dumpster, and I was like, yes! So I was really happy about that. Most erotic item ever sold. I would have to say what is it? Final Fantasy 3 for the Super Nintendo.
That's not erotic.
For a gamer, that's erotic.
That's exotic, dear.
Exotic and erotic.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure that's not what they meant.
Cosplay Final Fantasy.
Video game has nothing to do with that.
It is for a gamer.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'd have to say Final Fantasy. Or a t-shirt with a half-naked lady. No, wait. I can't remember it specifically, how it was described in the description when I listed it on eBay. Marilyn Monroe, basically topless, but over her boobs were Mickey Mouse heads. Yes, Ian, I do know Ian. Hi, Ian. But yes, I had the Marilyn Monroe half naked or topless with the Mickey Mouse heads over her boobs. I think I ended up selling that t-shirt for $35 2.5 years ago, now that I think about it. I can't remember how to describe it. But yes, it was a Disney shirt. Go look it up. You'll see it. No, you cannot have my thrift stores. You would have to move here in order to share them. And you'd have to actually come up here, Ian. There have only been a handful of resellers that say that they were going to come up here, and only one ever did. Resell Rabbit. Like, he actually came up here, and I don't know when it was exactly, but I caught the video later on, and he was going shopping from thrift store to thrift store to thrift store like I do, except evidently he was right behind me. He started, I don't know what Goodwill he started at, but he was at several Goodwills, and one of them, he just barely missed me, and he's like, man, I didn't find anything, but I found this. And it's like, yeah, you know why you missed a whole bunch of stuff? It's because I just left that store. By the way, the store manager's name is this, and he just had a kid. It helps when you know your store managers at Goodwill's. And that store manager actually just got transferred, and I got to figure out which store he got transferred to because nobody knew. And I'll be trying to go out and find him again because he was always one to help me out. Because he always asked, is there anything in particular you're looking at? He always knew me because I would come in and I would drop serious cash. Of course, we'd always do. But he would see that I would come in on a regular basis and drop serious cash. Well, they love seeing that. So, of course, they're going to remember you. Because he would see me come in. I think there was one time I bought 7 VCRs. He just straight up looked at me and was like, "You're a reseller, aren't you?" It's like, yeah, that helps. Would I know of the community, the Green Room. Would I pay to be in a community like that? I know of it. I have not ever paid to be in any community. I'm too much of a cheapskate, but there's also a lot of information that is already out there that people are giving away for free. There are people like me that are just straight up giving that information away. Like I have thought about charging, but that's not me. I can't charge people, not for information that I have stumbled across. That's why I just tell people about the Panasonic Omnivision VCR. It's just too good. I actually don't find it as often as I used to because I gave that information out, but it's actually gotten me to moving more. Agree. I'm too cheap too. Yeah. There's too much information out there that you just get for free. Just like lighter fluid. It's cheap, and I think it's the best cleaning solution I've found yet. I can't think of too many others that work really well. I used to almost exclusively use the Clorox wipes, but that actually gets expensive after a while because you're constantly trying to use more of those Clorox wipes, and you only get like 75 in one container, but it's like $5, but you get to use this more often than that. How do you test a VHS player in store if they don't have a TV? Plug it in. See if it lights up. They have VHS tapes. Pop it in. If that works, you're good. Then you can buy it, take it home. Then you can all-out test it when you get home. Is there an after smell with the lighter fluid? No. It evaporates too quick. It's like you can pop it open, smell it if you really want to, pour it on something. After it evaporates, nothing. And in the off chance there's still a smell, wait about 30 seconds. It's gone. In case you ever were a smoker and actually had a lighter, you know, I actually still have my old Zippo here. I never did get around to listing it on eBay. That smell, it'll stay in there, but it's designed to stay in there. I missed this thing. But I don't smoke anymore. And I don't think that particular one was actually worth anything. Why don't I go to outlets? The outlets that I've found, they have garbage. I've found a couple, and their outlets are just the weigh-in pays. They sell garbage. It's like you're sorting through it, and you just feel dirty going through it. I found electronics in there that were smashed. I mean, smashed to the point that it's not even worth your time to pick it up and look at it. No. I found, back in the beginning, I was at that outlet, and they had an Xbox. I didn't know much about Xboxes, but they were asking $45. I asked them, okay, I'm sure you've done this. Can you please test it for me? It's like, oh, it's been tested. It's okay. You can go ahead and buy it. It's fine. It's been tested. It's like, okay. Can you hook it up for me to test it in front of me just so that I know? It's like, oh, it's okay. You can trust us. It's like, okay. I'd really rather you test it for me. They understood that I was not going to buy it unless they plugged it in front of me. Red Ring of Death. They're like, oh, somebody said that they tested it. Okay. Yeah, I'm not buying that. And they're like, okay, we understand. Oh, we got another one. Okay. Hook it up. Let's test it. It's like, oh, it's okay. You can take it. We've already tested it. Okay. The last one you just told me that worked had the Red Ring of Death. Let's check this one. He's like, okay. He hooked it up. No Red Ring of Death. It wasn't coming on. Okay. He did this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then it worked. He's like, yeah, it's good to go. It's like, I'm not buying that. That's too much work. No, I'm not buying that. It's not likely that it actually continue to work for much longer. I'm not going to get that. So I go to outlets once in a while, but not very often. It's like, I think I've actually made a video the last couple times that I've been at outlets. That's not very often. Yeah, I don't trust them. There was one winter we were actually going to go as a family, and as we were leaving our apartment complex, it was the dead of winter, and I quickly discovered I had a flat tire, and I didn't know it until I was outside of the apartment complex when the tire was falling off. The roads were that bad. Yeah, that cost me a couple $100. I wasn't happy that time. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot with the outlets around here. If other people want to continue going there and get the good stuff, great, they can have it. Outlets around here are not much for me. Hey, Chris, how we doing? Doing my live show, and I've come up with like no topic for today, so I'm like just spewing for information as it's coming. Anybody have any questions, feel free to ask. How much do I spend on items per month? Well, that actually kind of depends on the month, because there's some like really slow months, some really busy months. Fourth quarter being busy. Let's see here. I think on the low end, 400. On the high end, I think was around fourth quarter, and I think I spent like 900. And that was like this last fourth quarter. I think November was when I spent that much, just because I was trying to get as many items into Amazon as I could. It was a really good month. Usually the best kind. Yeah, you don't have any kind of topic at all. Yeah, I guess those are good ones, but I'm all alone, no extra guests. Couldn't find anybody, so yeah, I had people telling me before that they loved this, so okay, we'll do it this time, but I've literally gotten nothing. What month is slowest for you? June is usually my slowest month for sales. March and April are usually pretty slow. And I think it's because people have already gotten their tax returns back, and they've spent all of their tax return money, and then it's April they're slowly trying to figure out, okay, where is all my money at? Where is it going? And then, okay, now I'll buy stuff again. Main areas that I sell in: clothes, toys, t-shirts, and kitchen appliances. I'd have to say those are my two top areas, and VCRs are my other. I know it's kind of a little wide, but yeah, those are the three that I stick with. Like, I don't do a whole lot of clothes other than just basic graphic t-shirts. I've actually got a whole bunch sitting over here right now. I was in the middle of taking pictures. If I had to leave Indiana, where would I move to? Um, we've actually been thinking about that as a family, and we were thinking if we left, we would move west, possibly New Mexico, Arizona type area. I think that's because we want to move where it's warmer. And I'm sorry, California, it's just too expensive. That's not us. No, I can't do California. Like I knew some people
You'll
that,
figure it out one day.
but I love the half off day Goodwills. I can't get enough of those. Where else in the country do they have like one solid day where everybody can go shopping at all the Goodwill stores in the area for half off? Yes, you are one of many people, but you it's just good prices. I've actually had really good finds at Goodwill on half off day. I've actually had my best find of the day at the last store at in the last half hour. And I couldn't believe it. I actually made it a point to get that item listed on eBay that night. It sold in 3 hours for $75. They actually sent me a best offer, but I listed it just before I went to bed, and I passed out. They sent me a best offer an hour after I listed it. 2 hours after that, they evidently had the itch that they couldn't wait for me to wake up and to accept the best offer, and they just straight up hit the buy it now. With Amazon, is books the only ungated category? No, there are others. Sometimes it's just finding them. I know electronics aren't. There are several kinds of electronics. I know I haven't had any issues with VCRs. I think Sony, unless you have already sold a whole bunch of Sony items, you have to get ungated. I'm not completely certain about that one yet. That one's still kind of up in the air. Nobody's really certain, but I know somebody said that they were being blocked from selling items by Sony because they were becoming gated and they had to get invoice only from Sony. Does the Goodwill sell on Amazon or eBay? Yes and yes. There are Goodwill stores from every state that sell on eBay and Amazon. It'll make you sick when you see what they're doing. They're also charging a low dollar amount for some of those items. What always bothers me about Goodwill selling on eBay is one, they're selling on eBay, and two, they don't take pictures. It straight up bothers me that they do not take pictures. They will take pictures for the Goodwill website that they have, but they do not take pictures for eBay. I don't know why they do it that way, but they do. Yep. Goodwill does have their own auction site. I've actually tried shopping on their auction site. I've actually come across stuff that I wanted for myself, but nothing that I could really get just to turn around and resell. But yeah, it wasn't, because some of those items are still selling for about retail price. Like I know there was somebody or one of their listings was for Star Wars Legos something or other, and it sold for like hundreds, and I couldn't. I tried to get in on it, but I couldn't do it. What was my highest dollar sale of all time? I think that was back when I was taking clients. I had one client whose husband that passed away was in the music industry. He had tons and tons and tons of electronics. And she was giving me some of those electronics to sell on eBay. She said she knew what they were worth, and I told her how I did it, and she said, okay, let's go ahead and do that. I think the most expensive item that she had that I sold was $600. And I told her right off the bat, my fee is 50%. So my cut, she gets 50%, then after fees, I get somewhere around 30. So that would have been my cut after the 600. But yeah, she had several. Some sold for 500. I think that one sold for 6. There was a few that sold for 300. Then she decided she wanted to try and do it herself. She tried to rework our agreement. She said, how about this, 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 and this, and then this will be your cut. Okay. What I didn't tell her was I made more money that way. Instead of selling on eBay and Amazon, why not sell on your own website? Isn't that more profitable in the long run? If you could, yes. But there's also the issue of trying to get your own website so that it will communicate with Google and Cassini. And it's the whole figuring out how all of that works. It was too much of a headache. I actually spent like a week trying to figure it out. I gave up. It was too much for me. I know people who are actually still trying to figure it out. And I just gave up. Like, if you can get it out there, if you can get your own website, get it out there and moving, it might end up falling in there, but I'm not completely sure. Have I tried Bonanza yet? No, I have not. I've been meaning to try and figure that one out. Like, I know it's supposed to be good, but I haven't had the time to figure it out. I've actually been trying to figure out how Etsy works right now. I've got my Genesis Tour 1980 t-shirt listed on Etsy right now for $200. And mine is not the cheapest on Etsy because the other person who has theirs, they have theirs listed for $100, but it is full of holes, rips, tears. No. Okay, hon, I'll make sure I don't tell the kids.
What?
That you're digging into their snacks for the park.
No. These are for all of us for park days. But
yeah, I've got. I'm. Nathan Rombod actually pointed out. I don't know if he pointed it out in a group video or if he actually posted this to YouTube, but I'm figuring out, and he is right. You got your eBay buyers that only buy on eBay. You got your Etsy buyers, they only buy on Etsy. You got your Amazon buyers that only buy on Amazon. Keep your prices within that particular site, because you can actually ask more money for an item on Etsy and have it sell there than it will be actively selling on eBay. And same thing with Amazon. Find the best marketplace for those items, but just remember, Etsy items are either handmade or vintage items. Etsy is so slow, I pretty much quit selling over there. Don't all out quit. I'll say that right now. You can ask more money for items. I know Etsy is slow, but I figured it's still decent for certain kinds of items. I know when I was first trying to figure out how Etsy worked, I was listing a cast iron something or other, and while I was in the middle of trying to figure out how to get it listed, that item sold on eBay. I was like, okay, I guess I'm keeping it. I guess it's getting shipped out now because it's sold somewhere else. Um, Goodwill online sucks. Yes, yes, it does. I still don't know how they deal with some of their stuff, considering they ask way too much for their shipping costs. I do know that. I've tried figuring out some of those, but it was just way too much. I have not tried any other auction sites because some of those I was trying to figure some of them out, but something about them just seemed not right. I don't know if it was just me or if there was just something about the site, but from what research I was doing, I didn't like it. Something just said stay away, so I'm going to follow my gut and stay away from those. How many babies made? Ian, you know I only have 2 kids. Sorry, only the 2. Let's see here. Promote through the teams for traffic. I stopped promoting and sales fell off. Don't worry about promoting it. The people will find it. That I do know. Cassini will get a hold of your listings and actually put it through Google, and it will come to you. When I list items on eBay, I don't tweet like I used to. Like I used to tweet several items. Sometimes I'll just tweet special items, but that will more or less help. Sometimes when I know I have a really hot item that I know will sell for top dollar, I will list it at a 99-cent auction for fun because I know it'll sell. I know it'll go for top dollar. That's not the problem. That's not any kind of problem at all. It brings traffic. People are not only coming to see what you've got because they want that item, they want to get it at a good price, they want to see what else you've got. Do you have anything else like it? Ooh, you've got that thing that I've been looking for. Oh no, I have to have that one too. It helps. Trust me. I love finding an item that's super hot. People will pay. Directions unclear. Yeah, uh-huh. I'm not even going to read that one, Ian. What about buying from bids does jewelry? I don't know. Couldn't tell you there. I think I completely stayed away from it after trying to figure it out just because something didn't quite feel right there. I know, of course, I just lost my train of thought. Pawn shops. Pawn shops, yes, for certain areas, not around here. I've actually gone into pawn shops trying to see if I could find something. Most of the time, they're asking more money than I'm willing to pay, or on some of those items, they'll be like, they will have the image of the item taped to it from a link of Amazon. No, not going there. Tweeting did nothing for me. And now analytics showed me most traffic for my stuff via Etsy search engine. I needed better stuff. I'm still trying to figure out the whole Etsy thing, but I haven't figured out analytics with Etsy. Analytics with eBay, I know that every time you tweet an item, you'll get like 30 views right off the bat. Well, at least most of the time. It depends on the item, but usually I'll get 30 views right off the bat. Tell me about it. Alabama pickers. Yeah, I hate it when people do that printout. Luckily, the only place I've noticed that has been the pawn shops. Yeah, I do know. Even just traffic to your items, even if it's only bringing views, it definitely brings its attention to Google. And then when it gets to Google and Cassini, then nobody really knows how Cassini works, but it somehow works with it and says, hey, bring sales over here. I bought my daughter a topaz ring from Bids for under $12 shipped. Cool. Some thrift stores here do the printout thing too. I've only had pawn shops do that. I haven't seen any Goodwill stores or other thrift stores do that though. Try tweeting the eBay. Yep, definitely. I've yet to figure out the whole Etsy thing. I think I tweeted items from Etsy, but I can't remember if it worked right. I think I've got like 3 or 4 items on Etsy right now. The wife told me I couldn't open up a new Etsy account. I had to put my items on hers.
I didn't exactly tell you that, but you couldn't figure out what you were doing, so it really just saved time.
Yeah, I think my main hang up was the tag word thing at the bottom of the screen, because it's you don't need to put all the tags in the title. It's supposed to be down at the bottom, and I didn't understand. And she said, you have to tag it. It's like, okay, that's what the title is for. She's like, no, that's what that's for. It's like, well, with eBay, it's that you put it up there in the title. And she said, no, you put it down there. Yes, she called me out. That's okay. That's what wives are for, right? Yes, I wish they did have free listings on Etsy. The tags are terrible. Yes, Ian, I know you love me. Of course you love me. You always love me. Speaking of love, I don't have a cat handy. What is she in?
More like what's she pooping on?
Hang on, this always gets her. If she's not, when I have the camera going and she's not on my lap, something's wrong. How do you deal with returns on eBay? One at a time. I don't have a lot of returns with eBay. I don't know if it's just me, but I try to keep my items listed as accurately as possible, make sure to note any problems with electronics, any holes in t-shirts. Make sure you point out holes in t-shirts so that people see, oh, there is a hole. I see it in the listing. Okay. That way when they get it, they're not surprised. Oh, it's got a tiny, itty bitty hole right there. Yeah, you're pointing to it. Actually, while I'm talking about that, if I can, oh wait, it's still in the camera. I didn't upload it yet. I took a picture of a hole on a t-shirt, and it's you can actually see my finger pointing to the hole, and I'm taking a picture, and you can see my finger pointing to the hole. Make sure you put that in there. That way you can be like, here it is. Do you see it? Not just here it is. Can you see it in this big screen of... No, you're actually putting your finger in the shot so that they can see that's where it's at. Let's see here. Yeah, I gotta go find the cat here in a few minutes because it's been an hour now. I am really shocked she is not here. Bothersome. I still need to get that game listed. You wear that to church. I don't go to church. Unless you're talking about Pickers church. I like my Pickers church. Too bad they're not on Sunday anymore. I like to be in on Sunday. It felt good on Sunday. I can't quite tell what that image is, Gary. I have started working on listing items under free shipping because when they're going to go free first class, I try to list them as free shipping. Just make sure you have it calculated in your price. That is one thing that I've actually learned. I learned a while ago that helped, but then I had a whole lot of items that were costing a lot more to ship than they should have, and that's when I found out that the post office jacked up their shipping costs. Wasn't happy about that, but I was still in profit mode. But then I learned how to do calculated shipping. But first class, I like to keep a list. Actually, it isn't completely perfect since they changed it last, but I keep a list of how much it's going to cost to ship anything first class. Because I think 1, 2, and 3 ounces is $2.45. And then from 4 ounces to 8 ounces is $2.60. Then at 9 ounces, it's $3.30 and jumps a nickel for every ounce all the way up to 1 pound. Hey, at least we can ship items that weigh a pound first class now. Are t-shirts really a good resell item? Actually, it depends on the t-shirt. I just really love t-shirts, so it is for me, but there are a few items that you can come across that will sell really well. Band t-shirts. I know I've talked about this before, but band t-shirts, band t-shirts, band t-shirts. Band t-shirts are awesome, especially Metallica. Oh my God, Metallica is. I'm a huge Metallica fan, so yes, I love my Metallica. I've got a few of them upstairs in my closet. Every time I come across a Metallica t-shirt, it usually ends up in my personal collection. But yeah, there was one in particular I came across. I can't even remember exactly, but I know it sold for like a couple hundred. Yes, I know. I usually find the best ones, but it's my Goodwill stores. I don't know if all Goodwill stores are this way, but around here, they have like one wall dedicated to t-shirts, and you can just go through and find a whole bunch of them. Like I've got, I hate to say it, but I actually do have a One Direction hoodie that needs to get washed that will be getting listed on eBay. I'm sorry I picked it, but yes, there is profit to be made. It's still a band that's out, that's popular right now, but yeah. My daughter wanted it. No, you can't have it. One, it's a winter item and it's summer right now. You cannot wear it. Certain kinds of hoodies are actually really good. Obey hoodies, they're really good, especially if you get the camouflaged hoodie with the Obey logo on the front. Those usually sell for about $30 pretty quick. Slipknot shirts are good. I think I found a Pantera one. That one sold for like $35 within an hour of listing it. But I don't usually find Pantera shirts. Can't remember which one that was, because I know if it was Vulgar Display of Power, I totally would have kept that one. Great Southern Trendkill, that's what it was. I remember that one now. Yeah, I love that one. I almost kept that one. No, that one was too good to keep. Pandora? No, Pantera. I'm sure you know who Pantera is, Dusty. Dusty knows bands just as well as I do. Yes, I have noticed your Metallica t-shirt that you've worn in Hangouts. I think I've got the 3 right now. The one I actually can't seem to identify. But I love the Metallica ones. I've got a Master of Puppets Metallica t-shirt. They have 2 different types. One everybody has. The one that I have, there's only like 3 listings on, and people have that one in particular listed on eBay for about $40, but they're not selling. But I'm okay with that because I'm keeping it. Metallica. Okay. Yeah, but you're Dusty. You can check out my inventory, but I don't exactly have all the good ones listed. Actually, I'm working on taking my t-shirts that I have on my primary eBay account, and I'm actually moving them to my secondary eBay account because I'm actually trying to get that one moving again. I got it moving with all of the hero clicks, and now that I got that account up to a top-rated plus power seller, I'm going to try and get my t-shirts moving over there. And then if I can get it going over there enough, then it'll at least be worth me opening a store over there. My third account, which used to be my secondary account, is not doing as well as it used to, but I haven't had a store on that. So it's just sitting there, still selling items. Talking about the Selena and the Selena Fest. I will say this, I have never come across anything Selena. Let's see here. You know, I think that's probably about it. Other than I've actually been considering, I haven't had her listed yet. She's been kind of my, hey, you're going to get back to work. And I know there's one friend of mine on Facebook that would love to buy her. Vintage Wonder Woman from 1980. Stand and all. She's just kind of sitting there reminding me that I need to work, and well, she's been doing a good job. And if anybody else is really curious, I got Wolverine sitting right next to her. And I have not found a Spider-Man action figure to sit right there. That would be so cool. Gotta have my Spider-Man. My steering wheel on my van is actually starting to wear out, so I bit the bullet and I bought a steering wheel cover, and I bought a Spider-Man steering wheel cover, so I'm really excited and I can't wait for it to get here. So, do I have a goal in numbers to keep my store up to? On the low end, I usually try to keep my primary account around 200 because I usually have items that flip pretty quick. My secondary account, since I don't have a store, I usually try to time everything just right so that I try to have on the low end the 50 items listed, but they come out with specials often enough. I think the most I ever had listed at once on that account was 180. And that was when there was one day I just could not stop. I was totally in the zone. I hit my record of items listed in one day, and I had 79 items listed in one day. Actually, I'm doing pretty decent with t-shirts on my other account right now. T-shirts always do well. I've even sold graphic t-shirts in the dead of winter. It's like I don't really worry about sweatshirts getting them listed during the summer, but if I'm running out of inventory and I have it there, then I'll go ahead and list it. I rarely do pants. I've had pants before. I've had true... Wife's watching TV. I've had True Religion jeans, one pair that I listed. I have found others, but they were counterfeit. And I made sure I pointed them out to the store manager that, hey, you've got some counterfeit True Religion jeans over here. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. For the most part, I wear short sleeves year round. But in the dead of winter, I'm still wearing short sleeves, but I'll have like a short sleeve shirt, a sweater, and one of my two hoodies on. If it's really cold, I'll have both of them on. I've got my Venom and my Spider-Man. I think that is probably all. So yeah, I guess I didn't do too terrible after a while. So, all right. So feel free after this is over, ask any questions in the video down below. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.